Here we go. I've got the suit and tie on this week in Cairns. It's a massive weekend for the boys up north. The twins, Lukey and Geordie, big Cole Six in the family as well. The Cairns Amateurs. Now, if anyone hasn't been to the Cairns Amateurs, I don't know where you've been in your life because it's on the bucket list, Tone, the Cairns Amateurs. But don't worry about the bucket list. Don't worry about Ali's Jab in race 5 and Annie and Modernism in race 6 tomorrow. Tone, how good were you last week? There was no Waterloo, big boy.
Oh, no, Waterloo indeed. See, that's what happens when you get an absolutely champion horse and a professional jockey on board, and she just went bang, nothing coming from behind. Waterloo was on fire, just took off like, off like a bucket of prawns in the midday sun, and bam, straight to the line. Waterloo, and here it comes, Bonaparte. That's it, see? Money in the bank, balls deep at 11. That's it.
Mate, it was great when that leader took off, didn't it? And there was no one coming except a great wee little horse with that beautiful job
little
on
man.
board. And
that's right.
Nailed on the line, wins by a neck. Beautiful to watch if you're on it because you would have been cheering it down the straight, especially to the boys up north, Tone, in the Avenue, old Tassie's mate, Big Noe.
Oh, yes, Big Noah was on it. Yeah, he loaded up, filled up his pockets, yeah, absolutely. Probably took Rach out to a 5-star restaurant for dinner and, champagne and wine, probably.
Oh. As
for Tassie, well, we know where he was, in the bloody chocolate aisle at bloody Woolworths, wasn't he? Buying Turkish delights and,
I think Tassie calls champagne champagne. That's how well he's going at the moment. Tassie, welcome to the show, mate. We miss you. Usually we're pumping you up. Usually we've got our fingers fisted. We're ready to go the Greek way. How good are you? And we give you a little bit of a stroke and we pull you in and you give us everything. You give us money. But what's going on?
Yeah, but every celebrity has to have a break.
Oh.
I mean, you look at Tom Cruise, he doesn't just go from movie to movie to movie. He normally has a little bit of a break.
Right.
So even with myself, I just can't go winner. Every now and again, I've got to fall in a hole, and I have, but that's okay. I don't have a problem with that because as long as the team is doing well, that's the most important thing. Because, you know what
Tone's favourite saying is?
Go on.
There's no I in team, but there's a U in C-U-N-T.
A rising tide lifts all boats. A rising tide lifts all boats.
Mine have sunk, but that's okay. It was ice. It was icy cold and it was bloody jockey era too. The way it was ridden, it was terrible. Seriously, bloody Astros. That's the last 5 tips I've had have all been the jockeys. Those bloody jockeys, they hop on those horses. They've got no idea. Seriously, that's what it comes down to. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, because a large majority of them get altitude sickness as soon as they get up on top.
I didn't know who was speaking, and I thought it was Tony. I thought you were a ventriloquist.
Well, let me tell you something.
Tony wasn't moving his lips.
I got a private message.
Oh,
I can't remember. I'm not going to disclose who it was, but one of our Pulty people private messaged me and said, "Hey, listen, can you have a word to Tone and try to get the list?" And I said, "What list are you after?" He goes, "The list of the terrible jockeys. I want one list of the good jockeys and one of the bad. So then on a Saturday, when I'm looking at my horses, I can just cross out the bad jockeys and just look for the good ones." So, Tone, bit of homework for you. We can take it offline. I can send you the message. But I did get a message that says, "Can we please have the list?"
Well,
can you put one together?
Mate, they'll be calling Tony fucking Chris Kringle because it'll be a fucking long list.
I tell you what, well, if you've ever read War and Peace, think about it. That's how it's like that.
Well, how do I stop them private messaging me, Tone? Should I get them to message you?
Well, it runs his battery down. Don't do that.
Yeah, especially if the phone's not plugged in and all sorts of trouble. That's what happens.
Anyway, you've done well. You've done super because what is it? 2 weeks? You're on a hat trick again or something? No, you're close to because you had Miss Divine M, the Melbourne reject. It went up and it won. Yeah. That was a brilliant selection. Then you took Bonaparte, another Melbourne reject. It's gone up and it's won.
Yep.
So you've done well. So I'm really looking forward to you because I've worked out your formula. You've gone the Victorian rejects. So I'm looking forward to this week's tip. I hope it's another one.
I reckon he's on a horse called Mark the Man, because I had a look at Tone's formula and he was on Aussie Nugget last week too. So his formula keeps working. Just pick Victorian horses now running for Gollan. And so I had a look this week and Mark the Man for Michelle Payne's running around Tone for you.
Well, there you go.
I've already picked your titanium for you.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
We're talking about last week, Tony. So 2 out of 3 the last 3 weeks. An average winning price of 9 skins for the great man. Don't worry about the thousands you've lost. Think about the hundreds you've won.
That's right. Yes. It has been a very lean run for quite some time. But, you know, as they say, the pendulum swings both ways.
Oh, do they say that?
There we go.
I just want to say, Business Pickers had not a bad day. We got a couple of seconds, a nice healthy third at around 3 skins. And we just missed in a photo, which I think Jimmy Orman didn't write it out, the prick. But anyway, I just want to say a bit of a shout out to Trevi. Like, wow, you know, he was going to turn $20 into about 5,000. So it would have been great.
Wow.
And Pezza wasn't on as much as Trev, but it would have been a pretty healthy collect on the pickers. So Wednesdays, get amongst it on the old Book of Face. Join us over there. But remember, like and subscribe to the video. I think we're up to 53 subscribers now, Taz.
Yes, well, I mean, for those that are out there and watching, we've been putting out a few little snippets of some of our shows, and we'll continue with that.
Perfect.
But I think for everyone, I mean, there's 800 odd that we've got on our page. Guys, girls, just go out. We can even set up a task card, I think, and we'll put it up as a post on how to actually go out and subscribe. It costs you nothing.
Perfect.
But if you do it, there could be an added benefit, because that might give us an opportunity to generate a little bit of income, not for ourselves, not immediately, but for the familiar. So then we could start running some competitions, maybe start giving out some prizes, and of course, and doing that. At the end of the
day, me and Tassie were talking about this as CEO, Toner. You weren't involved, but the dream is,
of course not.
No. Hang on. It's not that he wasn't involved. Okay, he was invited, but he was having a nap.
Yes,
so
and his battery was flat
because of the
notifications
from Mardo.
Bloody Mardo. That's Mardo.
Oh, fucking hell.
Running down his battery, mate.
He's got a bit of ammo at the moment, Mardo. So it's like a fucking, it's like 1990s in Melbourne. It's a pingathon. But the dream is, Tom, we were talking about this the other day. The dream would be to have something running around and put a line through its silks. How good would that be?
Actually, I think it's starting to get to that time of year again when put a line through it will come out onto the UK tracks.
The UK steed.
In the winter. Yeah.
One start for a 47 length last.
That's right.
Put a line through
but it did finish. It didn't fall. It did finish.
Well done, Tony. 2 out of 3. Last week, Bonaparte, bang, bang, bang. Taz, you were saying it was a great ride, mate. You might want to pump up somebody here, Tony.
Who wrote it?
What's her name? Thornton. Sarin, isn't it? Whatever her name is. Sarin.
Sarin Fork?
Fork.
No.
Or
no, it wasn't. No.
Hang on. Sarin Fork's in Adelaide. But he's going
Boris. No. Boris. Was it Boris Thornton?
Oh, Boris.
No.
Or was it his sister?
No, it must
be his sister. Susie.
Yeah, it was that's it. We had a lovely little vixen on there who was able to ride it, to absolute peak performance.
Good on you, Susie.
That's what you get when they don't pull them up. It makes a very big difference to the punter's pocket.
So Susie Thornton's on your list, or she's on your shit list, or she's on your list?
No, she's on the good list. She's not there.
Stephanie, isn't it? Is it Stephanie or Susie?
Is it Stephanie or Susie? Telling the story. Tone.
You're telling the story.
What's it?
Me? No, I'm just trying to work it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I think it's Stephanie Thornton.
Is it? Oh, good on you.
It was your jockey, Tone. You haven't got her on a list, have you?
Yeah, it was Steph. Yeah, Steph.
Yeah.
Steph. Yeah. See, that's what happens when you get a decent jockey. Like 3/4, at least 75 to 80% of the jockeys in Victoria are corrupt, as well as New South Wales.
I was going to be such a prick.
Queensland is probably.
I was going to be such a prick.
Adelaide's 90.
When Tony said, "That's what you do when you get it," I'm like, "What? Forget her name."
Listen, fat boy, just control yourself. You had your money on. Don't complain,
That's right.
Jabba the Hutt, come on, don't complain. You had your money.
It's true. No, Pezza. Look, in all fairness, Tone. In all fairness, Tone, he did have all his money on. He did. I did. You did too.
We all had coin on.
We all did.
And then we had Sunday, and then we had Monday, and then we had Tuesday.
I'm just trying to.
And then we have Wednesday.
Bit of wit.
That's right. Yeah, Tuesday was a disaster.
My side.
Yeah, but the poor bloke lost it all. Pezza, he sent a telegram. He couldn't even. He had to go old school. He couldn't send an SMS or anything. He had no credit on his phone. He sent me a telegram saying, "Tassie, can you lend me some money? I've just done me nuts on the treasures. I've become shipwrecked." He said, "Shipwrecked."
Willow. 3 out of 4 legs in the quaddy. The new system, we're not too sure, but we're going to have a crack another week and then we'll probably have a chat about it. Anyway, mate, take me to the north.
Well, it's an omen bet because you were talking about Ali's jab and modernism. Tomorrow, everyone wants to be up to the Cairns. Everyone wants to be there, so take me north. Anyway, this horse here backs up after last week. It does step up from 1,800 to 1,950. Vorster's on. It's only ever backed up once before, like so quickly, and that was back at Casterton, I think, where it did win. Wow, I think it's going to push forward. The rail's out 6 metres at the Parks, and it's not often that I go for a horse that backs up really quickly, but 390, I'm on.
I love the Goblin.
I'm keeping it short.
I love the Baron. I love him.
Keeping it short for you.
He's got that real short riding style too. I love it when he gets in front with about 100 to go. No one's going to get past.
I'll tell you what I've got, though, just before we go to make it a little bit longer. Race 4, number 6. 4 and 6 equals 10.
Yeah.
Start number 10. It's from barrier 10. If you add up its numbers, so of its placings there, 30, 322, it equals 10. So for me, it's a 10 out of 10 out of 10. It wins. Put your 10 on it.
I like it.
That's all.
We're going to the headquarters again. I'm up in the quaddy. TJ Kellogg doesn't think so, but Jabba the Hutt here, Tony doesn't. Who cares? Here we go. We love Lukey and the Flamingo, and we love Woodsy, our mate, and we love the captain, who's still very dirty about not being involved in the quaddy. And then, of course, Jace can get fucked. But here we go. We got numbers 3, 4, 8, and 15 in the first leg. Point to PM seems to be the pick of the day for the Hickmont stable, Tone. And you know who the Hickmont stable are, Tony, don't you?
Oh, yeah, Jamie Carr's on. No, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't he play for Geelong?
Big boy.
I have no idea.
Lloyd Williams, big boy.
Yep.
All right. It's not one of my horses.
But you don't know Lloyd Williams?
No, I've heard of course, Lloyd Williams.
Right.
There we go. Yep.
So we got big dreams ahead for this horse, Tony, and it's coming up first up, and it's favourite around $3.50. So Jay Carr's in the saddle. It's got a bit of a bit of a vibe about this horse, Tony. That could be on the bigger and better things this spring, as in cups, Tony.
Yeah,
it's interesting though, isn't it? First up over 2,500.
Massive.
It's really going the old. It's going the English style training and everything.
So Tone, as Tone knows, as he's told us, he knows boats. Hickmont is basically a puppet for Lloyd. So if Lloyd thinks he's first up over 2,500, he's first up for 2,500. So it's quite interesting to see that the market's definitely found it. We've got the 4 in interpretation. The 8 in Through Irish Eyes is one of Tony's faves. And, of course, Mimi's Award, a bit of a ghost for me and Tone. We've got to throw it in.
That said, Mimi's might not be in because depends if it goes to Swan Hill tomorrow, Friday.
So hopefully we get the 14 in then, the big grey Fangirata tone. Race at a midweeker about a month ago in the Pickers and absolutely brained them by 10.
Bo's on board. So you know, Bo Merton's right.
I read a little story about it, Pezza.
Yes.
They're aiming it for the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
Because Johnny Leakes, he ended up buying it. I think he paid $20K for it or something. And he's turned it into gold. But it's got a bit of a pathway and he needs to qualify it. So he's actually quite keen on it.
It's a beautiful horse, the 14. We haven't got it in there. We're talking about it a lot. So hopefully the Mimmies Award goes to Swan Hill tomorrow at around 350.
It's also entered, though, at Swan Hill tomorrow is Fangirata.
Right. And it's a beautiful grey. It's like a marble tone.
Is it?
Second leg, we've got 5, 6, and 14. We've got the 2 faves in the 5 and the 6. And the 14, we've got the Adelaide horse, I Am Benny for AJ and Big Elephant Man himself, Benny Mellon.
Well, the 14, I mean, the way that this is 1400, it's stepping up. The way that it finished its last race, you would think it's not going to have a problem with it. Your Flying Mascot, it's going to get a better run.
Pretty keen on Flying Mascot, I think. First
so
up,
I can see it.
I reckon it's going to be fitter for this. Drawn in 5, I reckon, it's going to look the winner somewhere.
It does.
And they're going to get past it.
It's probably just going to sit off the pace, isn't it?
Yeah, and if not lead, they're going to have to get past it to win. And we hopefully I Am Benny will be screaming down the outside tone, and with Kiss for All Cheeks making its run as well. Tone, any thoughts?
I've got a couple in there that this is a horrible race. If there's going to be an upset, it'll be the second leg because you've got your old ghost there. What always worries me, Foxy Frida, always puts in a big effort. And you've got Cuban Link down the bottom with You're In Me Lane on board.
Very talented.
Either two of them are on key. They could be hard to beat. But
what about your old Ghost is there too? Your old Ghost, Rich Hips.
Oh, yes, Rich Hips back in the day when Barney got his new shoes and was, flashing them round like he had a new pair of blood, like he was wearing a new thong, it was a big swinger, wasn't it, Rich Hips?
Right. Well, you've tipped that before on one of your titaniums. And one.
I did. And one, yes. Yeah. But I think we've got the winner in those, in the ones we got.
And Tassie, I think Tassie's tipped Daisies before too, when it ran over.
I've tipped Daisies. Look, Pedro, I think it's an interesting race because there's a few horses in this race that are going to be looking at getting over more distance. I mean, you look at, the top 2, for example, they're probably going to be showing more over 2,000. Daisies, again, looking for more ground. There's a lot of horses that you don't know which path they're going to take towards spring. But I reckon come Saturday afternoon, you will know which ones are going one way and which way the other ones are going. So it's a really good race.
Great race, the 8, 5, 7, 8, 10, 13. There's a lot of honest horses here. There's a lot of horses that try and they get their chance to win a bit of black type this race. So we're on 5, 7, 8, 10, and 13. Quite funny in the discussion before the race. We've all tipped the 10, and then that was one of the first ones that Taz wanted to throw out, even though we've all put it in. Yep. It's quite funny. Red Can Man. But I think on a softer track, on a drier track, if it goes soft, put a line through it. It can't run on soft ground. But if it runs if it dries out, if it gets to a good 4 or a 5, but now I
don't see it getting that way though.
But I think you can sort of put a line through the 10 anyway if it gets a little bit wet. But I've got to throw in the Astrologist for Bennett Racing. One of my mates owns 10% of it. Always tries, always gives its best. I reckon it's found its race that I don't think there's anyone. Usually it races against better horses and they tend to win. But I don't reckon I think he's found his race. Yes. Good on you, the Astrologer.
You don't think? What about Stage Man? I mean, there's three Perth horses in this race, but Danny O'Brien's now got Stage Man, doesn't he?
Yes.
I mean, it's an 8-year-old. It wasn't a bad run.
Yeah.
First up down the straight in a smallish field.
Yep.
It's going to get a lot more room. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's the Smoky. Then you've got, is it Grace's Girl or whatever it's called? Another Perth one.
Yeah.
There's a few that's come from everywhere.
Well, I don't think Grace
Ball
was come back,
down.
to tell the truth. I don't think she's turned up.
After one run.
Yeah.
But doesn't the criminal usually ride the astrologist, but he's on the bottom weight?
Yeah.
He's on the Rusty.
Who's the criminal?
The numbers. Well, there's only one criminal in Victoria. Craig.
No,
come on.
What are you talking about? You've told me that 75% of them are criminals in Victoria.
Yeah, but he's one of the biggest ones.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Quite funny. We've left out the favourite in Swatstat. We nobody rates it for the new stable. Is that right, Tess?
Well, yeah, Swatstat. I mean, geez, it goes well down the straight. It's been group placed probably 3 or 4 times.
I just think it's a non-winner.
It's trialled well.
It's just a non-winner. It's a non-winner. It's one run race.
Look, we got it right last week with the favourite that we left out, and that, what was it, aggressively, or what was it called?
Yeah.
The in the last leg or something. Yeah. So I reckon we'll probably get it right.
Jamie Carr rode it.
Yeah, and we'll probably get it right by leaving this one out. Probably run second or third or fourth.
I tell you what, if Holbein gets up at 100 to 1, I reckon I'm going to jump off my 11th four balcony myself.
Especially if Colin runs
First up, Holbein. It's won this race. I think it ran this race last year, didn't it? First up at 100 to 1. And so anyway, it's a great race, great to watch. I love the straight races because usually the most honest horse wins, not the most brilliant. The last league, we got a bit wideish, 3, 6, 7, 11 and 14. We all sort of agreed with these numbers as well. Cadazio could be anything. We just never know. It's first up and 1. Come to the city. Let's see how we go. Boys?
Pezza, with that one, the interesting thing is Jamie Carr's jumped on Cadazio. And I think for Gita Sam, Jai McNeil's gone on to it. And Jai McNeil had previously ridden Cadazio. So is that like a lead in there or not? Because I tell you, when Fajita Sam was beaten first up, it was at Flemington as well, but it just looked like it needed the run. I reckon we've got the winners there. I do like our selections there. I reckon, with those 5, even if you box a try or box the first 4, I reckon we're pretty much on the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keen on one?
Those 2 are the main.
Yeah, I'm keen on the 11. I like Fujita San. I thought it was a pretty good run when it ran 4th there first up. But I also like the Tijuana, the 3 with Mickey D on board.
Lots of Cuban links here, Tone. Maybe we should have put that in the quaddy.
Oh, don't mention Cuban links.
That's his all up. That's it, isn't it?
Cuban link, Peterson and Tijuana.
I can just see big Rach at home now with the red pen, just going through them. Cuban link. There's a big circle around that now. Should be on.
Well, the analytics did used to point to Tassie. It was all about Taz. But unfortunately, Taz has caught a Pezzeritis on a Saturday.
No, that's not true. No. I've just gone out for a spell. That's all it is. It's a spell. You can't keep seriously. And with my spell, I'm sitting back and I'm watching the jockeys. I'm looking at Tony's list, and I'm starting to think.
Oh, the Melbourne,
is Tone right?
Brisbane.
I'm looking at that system, and I'm also looking at the criminals. So I'm trying to work out which ones are which.
Oh, right.
At one stage I was going good. I had good old Jimmy Orman. I had J-Mac. I had Tommy Berry going. I had all the criminals that Tone thought were criminals, and now they've turned on me. I'm going to have to start looking at I guess the Stephanie Thorntons, the Boris Thorntons,
Susie.
Susie. Who was it? The Jay Chester. He's another one that rides up in Queensland. I'm going to have to start looking at those. The types of jockeys that are honest.
I just love the familiar. I love the familiar. Tone doesn't interact. He doesn't get involved. He doesn't pump anyone up. He doesn't get on the pickers yesterday and say, "How good are you, Pez? Well done, mate."
Well, I think you've got a mental disorder, because I did put something up in there in the pickers yesterday.
He did it. Didn't win though.
No.
Oh.
I did say well done about.
I thought you meant you put a tip in there. Sorry.
No, I didn't put any tip. I don't tip on Wednesdays. That's not my day.
I think
So
2
which
weeks
days
ago,
do you bet? You tip on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
No, Tone, I'm in the middle of a story, mate. So 2 weeks ago, Pezza throws out a winner after a good distance, a good time break, and then you've hit 2 out of the last 3 weeks, and then everyone just gets around you and starts putting little posts up on the Facebook page. Napoleon, Bonaparte, Tone, fucking wanky, sucky. But there's no love for anyone else on the channel, mate. Just you.
No, your imagination.
Right.
But that's all.
Pezza, a very long run of outs.
It's Tone. It's not. It's not his imagination. It's true. It's all about you.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as much as Pezza runs the show, and I'm not the arrogant one, the confident one, everyone loves you. You're like the quiet, smiling assassin. Everyone loves you. Seriously,
the most offended defensive man I've ever met in my life.
They respect you, Tone.
You two turds offend me all the time.
What? We don't.
You do.
Are you
now saying there's two floating boats?
I thought Tommy Berry was Turdy Tommy, not us. It's Turdy Taz and
Yes.
Turdy Tommy's on a different plane. He's not in the black. He's in the black book. You guys aren't in the black book. You know, you're safe.
So wish I was.
So there's Pezza, there's two floating boats.
Yeah. The rising tide floats.
Yeah, two of them.
All
Pez and Taz.
All brown trout.
Brown trouts. There we go. Anyway, coprophilia aside, that's like a shit fetish. I learned that word last week to give it the Tone. Tone, what do you got?
Spell it.
Sticking with the girls, sticking with the non-corrupt state with
Susie Collett.
Actually put in a big effort. So
Susie Collett on board. She's going to go berserk.
Samantha Collett. There we go. 7 skins. Look at that. Has not been unplaced since it's come back. 2 wins and a second.
Yeah, we can read that.
Ready to fire.
Give us
Ready
something.
To fire.
We can read that.
Where were these? Where was it running, Tone? Is it Toowoomba?
Sunshine Coast?
Bow Desert?
It's been down in, I think, down the Goldie. Might have been the Gold Coast.
Oh, perfect. Missionary. You love a bit of missionary. I think you're putting it. Is that the reason that you've gone out with this? Because this scares me, Tone, because, you know, I have a bit of a Collett curse.
Really?
So now you're asking me to put in. You're asking me to put in my Yankee, Samantha Collett, a jockey,
poison,
who just has poisoned me. Her and what's the other one? Is it Jason Collett? Is he the other one?
Yeah.
Jay Collett.
11-11.
Yes,
both of them.
Yes. But it all depends on the timing, Taz. That's what it is. You see.
Right.
It all depends when you.
How have you found this, Tone? How you found it? Tell the familiar how you found it, Mr. Vine M. Bonaparte, now the missionary. Tell us something, Tone.
Through my pure expertise of going back through the records and the numbers and you know, like
you didn't know where it ran.
Can I pretend, Tone, for you? Can I pretend? Yeah.
Go on.
Can I just say I'll tell you, he found it because it's race 1. Okay. And this way, by it being in race 1, his battery won't be dead.
And he's on the
so he can at least watch his race. No, so his battery will be still full of charge.
You talk, fat boy. You behave yourself. Don't get started. Don't get me started.
What's happened? You guys on the beers?
No, he has a bet in the race 1. It wins. He's on the beers. What do you mean?
Oh, then there's nothing wrong with that. But at least his battery won't be chewed down.
Yeah, because Marto runs it out every Saturday. So anyway, I'm getting on the first race at Doomben, and that's it. You know, that's it. can start everybody off with a winner, hopefully.
The
8
missionary
is a very special number.
That's it. Everyone
in
starts with a
Chinese
missionary.
culture.
maybe the familiar don't care what Tony says about it. They just put their money blind in blind faith. They don't care. He
Yes,
doesn't know.
maybe they've.
Susie Collett's on and where it ran last start, and it doesn't matter because he's got Mr. Bynum, he's got Bonaparte, so just believe.
Yeah, but this one didn't. This one's never raced in Melbourne.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
It's a local. He's found a local. He's gone against his formula.
I just got that vibe.
Oh, you got
that
vibe.
You know, it is time for the missionary and Samantha Collette, who owes me money, to put some water back in the pool. You know.
I tell you what, Tone. As much shit as we've hung on you right now, at the end of the day, if the missionary gets up, you win, and we can't say a thing. So you're only as good as your last tip, and your last tip was better than ours.
It was a winner. Yeah.
This is a very tough race, as you know. I think there's 2 equal favourites in this race.
Is it the toughest race on the card?
Is
it the toughest race on the card?
I wouldn't say that, but
Okay.
no, I wouldn't say it's the toughest race. I think there are tougher races throughout the day.
Oh.
I mean, but yes, I think this is the vibe this week. The missionary.
It'll be over early.
It will be over early.
The pain or the divine intervention, the joy. It'll be
yes.
I reckon only morons tip in race 1, Tone.
Especially in Sydney.
Especially when it's a highway.
Oh, hang on. Here's his fair one at race 1. It was a lead in to putting shit on me, mate.
Oh,
look at that.
Should I have gone in the first?
Now who's piggybacking? Look at that, Taz. Who's piggybacking now? Like, who's tipping a Z horse?
I tell you what it is. You guys are mongrels. You guys are mongrels because you planned this. Because you thought, you know what, we'll both have our bets in race 1, and then we'll argue, like we'll pretend we're arguing on the show. Yeah. But then after race 1 in each race, boom, both of us together, off to the stand-up together. You guys will be sinking beers together at about 12:30.
Fantastic.
Well, you're trying to suck me in.
And you'll be only on your 4th chocolate.
I've got a little bit of stable mail, boys, and stable mail usually smells of money, or it smells of stank. And I think it smells of money because I've seen this beautiful horse in a little video, Tone. It's got more muscles than you. Oh, that's not a good comparison.
It wouldn't have to have any more muscles than me.
That wasn't it. No, but it's got rippling like you. Oh, that's not a good one either. Shit.
It's got more muscles than a 70s, what do you call it? A 70s muscle car, like a GTR XU1 or a...
Anyway, it's a 3-year-old stake race, and as young Corson says in the video, they're all wanting to win because this race will decide which way do you go. Do you go towards the Group 1 glory, or do you go to Casterton and try to Take Me to the North like Taz? So, a bit of a clip there, Taz.
That's okay.
My mate owns 10% of this with his group of mates. They own 10% of Zoe Sensation. It's a beautiful colt. First up in Adelaide, absolutely brains them at around 7 skins that drifted out to. It was a magical day when there were 2 favourites back, Tony. Next, it's up at Flemington again, down the straight against a pretty good field. And again, it was tough at the end. It couldn't get through on the inside. I thought it was on the wrong side of the track, to tell you the truth. If it was on the outside, Tony, we might have come over the top of him. But it's flying, Tony, flying. And, of course, at 17 skins, Cancerous Craig is on. It's got to be a chance if I'm backing Craig. So, boys and girls, get in the queue. This is going to be the day where Pezza gets back all the thousands that he's cost you over the last year and a half. Zoo Sensation, Barrier 6, number 10 for Better Racing, and my mate Circus. Let's go. And I don't mind Chartrade 20 skins in race 4 as well. Always. And Hong Kong starts as well, Tone, on Sunday. How good is that?
Yes. Well, It must be a certainty because you've ticked all the boxes. You piggybacked on a Z horse.
Yes.
You've piggybacked
Nice one.
on Z horse, Barney.
Right.
And
I don't know how
Race one.
back on Barney's dad.
Barney's dad.
Barney's
Race
dad
one.
And you got Willow on. Willow.
And race one with the Muppets, like only Muppets tip in race one.
Yes. Yes. That's right.
It's you.
And
So I reckon Zoo Sensation each way all day, but I'm not going each way. I'm on the nose, Tony. You know that OTN. That's what I do. I
got
live
to back
by the
each
sword.
way.
No. And anyway, I reckon why back it each way if you think it's going to win?
True.
All right. Anyway, Tassie gets us back a huge amount of money, $3.90.
Massive.
Easy bet in Adelaide into 7 skins into 17. Let's go crazy. Boys, thank you very much. We're at less than a minute. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Collingwood to go out in straight sets. Beautiful
Yes,
thing.
I agree. Gone.
Can we
Great
have-
great round of footy last week. Unbelievable.
And the other one is Richmond are starting to look at trying to buy premierships. So they're just trying to bring blokes in again.
Yeah,
Billy's trying to keep his job.
Jealousy's a curse.
And Wayne Carey got caught with some Aspros.
Hey, crushed up Aspros.
Yeah.
He's going to put a bit of Aspro Clear in tow. All we need was a glass of water. Have an Aspro. It must have been on the bloody
Very
Susie Thornton and Susie Collett and all those jockeys that can't.
and very elegant.